Hi, welcome to my channel, and today we will learn how to do the drafting for this midi that you see here in the sketch that I have made. So this is a western midi obviously, and I won't take a lot of time. I'll quickly take you through the measurements and the ease that I'm going to use in this particular dress. So the measurement is, the shoulder is 13.5 inch, the waist is 29.25 inch for the person whom I'm making this. The sleeve round here, it is around 7 inches. Yoke is front is 15 inches, back is 13.5 inch. Okay, and back neck depth, as in where the net is till, that is 8 inches. Okay, chest measurement, the chest measurement is 34.5 inch. Hip is 39.25 inch, and width of the neck is around 7.5 inch. Sleeve length is 20 inches, and yeah, the entire length of the dress is 37.5 inches. Okay, now these are the normal body measurements. So to that we will be adding ease. As always, if you have attended my webinar, you know that we need to add ease, right? If you haven't attended the webinar, the link to register for the webinar is at the bottom of this, is in the description box. So do register for the webinar. And yeah, so as I was saying, including the ease, the waist is we are adding an ease of 2 inch at the waist and 2 inch at the chest. Okay, so that is the entire measurement that I am going to use in this particular drafting. You can use your measurement, so you don't have to use this measurement. When you take the measurement, whatever is the measurement of the person, you can do that. Okay, you can take that. So that is all about the measurement aspect. Now let us quickly see how to do the drafting. Pay attention, take notes if you want. I have shown full drafting in this video, and I have also showed the cutting of the fabric. Okay, because sometimes students get confused. Okay, now how do we cut? Is this right or wrong or whatever? So the cutting is also being shown after cutting, as in how it is looking. So I hope you like this video. Let's make the format of this midi. Okay, I'm using a very easy format for this, and you can do it as per the measurement. I have already shared the measurement with you, but you can do it as per the measurement of your choice. Okay, so for this I have taken this chart paper. Few things will be required, like this French curve, the L scale, a long ruler. Okay, if required. Now this is a bodice, the top part that I am making, so I am using a small ruler. Okay, pencil for marking, and pen, and yeah, so I'll be using these pens so that you are able to see it clearly. Pencil marks are not that much visible in the camera. Now I have taken this chart paper, I have folded it. As you can see, I have folded it here because I want to get the front and the back part of the dress from this chart paper. So I have folded it here, and now let us proceed with it. Now what is the width? Generally the width should be whatever the chest is. Okay, whatever the chest measurement is. For my case, with the ease, the chest is 36.5. so whatever your the chest measurement is, like say 40, 50, I mean 50 is way too big, I mean whatever it is, you know, you take 1/4 of that. Okay, you take 1/4 of that, and 2 inches extra. Okay, so 1/4 of the chest and 2 inches extra, chest with the ease and 2 inches extra, so that we have enough paper to add the seam allowance and everything in the format itself. Okay, now let's start. It is very simple. So here I will be making a line, and this line is so that, you know, I have enough space on top to add the seam allowance. Okay, so here I am starting it from here, which is approximately half an inch below the top line. This point, let it be 0.0. Now first thing we need is the chest line. Always in my course also I teach, for whatever formatting that I am teaching, first thing that we will do is the chest line. So for where will be the chest line? The chest line for midi is 1/8 of chest plus 2.5 inch. Now for chest including ease is 36.5. So 1/8 of 36.5 plus 2.5 inch. So that is total 7.06 inch. Now 0.6 inch is very difficult. So what we do, we just take 7 inches. Okay. From 0. So let's do this. 7 inch from 0. I made a mark. Let this point be 0.1. Now yoke length. The front and the back, as I have showed you in the measurement, the front is bigger because of the bust. We have to accommodate the bust, but actual length of the yoke is what we get from the back side. Now actual length of the yoke is 13.5. So from 0 I will mark a point at 13.5. Okay, let this point be 0.2. Now we can square it from 0.1 and 0.2, square out. So for that, L scale is the best. If you don't have L scale, you can use set squares that are available in geometry boxes, so you can use that temporarily. But if you want to learn the fashion designing thing properly and all, it's better that you invest in an L scale. Same way, I will square out from 0.2 as well. Okay, I have squared out from 0.2 as well. So I've got the basic lines. Now let's do the shoulder. So shoulder, whatever the shoulder is, her shoulder was 13.5. So half of that is what I will be taking and marking a point. So half of 13.5 is 6.75, right? So from 0 I mark a point at 6.75. So let this be the shoulder. Okay, now neck width. The width of her neck that I wanted to make is, I think, 7.5 inch was the neck width. So half of that, half of 7.5 is 3.75, right? So from 0 I am marking a point at 3.75. Let this point be 0.3. Okay. Now neck depth I have taken was 7.5 inch. So from 3 again I will mark a point at 7.5 inch. Okay, and this 3 and this point I will join. Okay, let this point, this point that I have made, this is say 0.4. Now this point that I have made, as you can see the image that I have drawn, reference the sketch that I have drawn. So this I want it to be a rounded V-neck. So you can use the French curve for that. It is the easiest. So I'm just using the French curve and drawing this here. Okay, so this is the neck that I have got. Next, what I will do here, this line that I have made, I will square out from this also, right? So squaring out from this line, this point that I had made for the shoulder, okay, so that it crosses the bust line. So this line has just crossed the bust line. Let this point be 0.56. Okay, let this be 0.6. I think I have missed 0.5. Anyways, fine. Now for this particular girl that I'm making, her shoulders are not drooping. Okay, it's pretty straight. So generally we take a shoulder drop of 3/4 inch, but for her I'm taking a shoulder drop of only ½ inch. Okay, so I made a point here and let this point be 7. Now what I'll do, I'll just join 0.7 with 0.3. So let me just do that. So I will get the shoulder. Yeah, so this much is kind of done. Now we need the chest. What is her chest including the seam allowance? It is 36.5. So I'll divide that by 4. Divide 36.5 by 4. So then that will give me 9.125. So 9.125 is actually, so this is 9.25. Okay, so center of that is 9.125. So I'm marking a point here. Yeah, this is one point that I have marked. Now this from 0.6 I will mark a point 1 inch above the 0.6 on this line. Okay, let this point be 0.8. Let this point be 0.9. Okay, so I have got my chest line, I have got the chest this thing. Now I have to shape the arm size. 7, 8, 9 is what I have to join. So for that again you will use the arm size. That is the best way. So see, when you are joining, it's not always necessary that it will pass through easily. Sometimes it may happen that it doesn't pass through easily. For in this case it is passing through easily, so it's fine. I will directly go ahead and join the curve. Sometimes when it doesn't pass through the points, then what you will have to do, you will have to adjust the curve, join these 2 points first and then adjust the curve again and join it with the rest of the line. So we are doing the front part. First we are doing the front part. Remember that, okay? This is the front part that we are doing. Okay, now let's move on. Here the point 9 is there. What I will do now, I will square out from point 9. Yeah, I've squared out from point 9, come till the line where the yoke is ending. Let this point be point 10. Okay, now see, listen to me carefully, it's very important. I am going ½ inch inside. Okay, let this point be point 11. The reason why I am doing this is because I want to shape the side of the front part, because front is longer than the back. It is not same size as the back, right? So for that what I am doing, I will now join 9 and 11 and extend it further, right? So let me quickly, here, fine. Now her front yoke is 15 inch and the back is 13 and a half. So that is there is a difference of approximately 1.5 inch. So I will not take 1.5 inch more here, because rest of the bust I will accommodate with a waist dart. Okay, so I am only taking 1 inch more for her. For a thinner person it can be 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch. So I am making a mark here at 1 inch. Fine. Now that I have made this mark, what I will do, I will simply make a straight line. So this becomes the edge of the front part of the waist. Okay. Now you might say that, ma'am, you know, if I've just taken ½ inch, this might be more or less, then what do we do? So pay attention here. We will be adding a dart of 3/4 inch here. Okay, we will be adding a dart of 3/4 inch. Now for her waist, including the seam, including the ease, is 31.25. 31, 29, 30, 31, yeah, 31.25, right? 31.25 is including the ease. I divide that by 4. So I get 7.8 inches approximately, plus 3/4 inch is the dart that I will be adding. So that is coming to around 8.5 inch. So see, for her, luckily I have got 8.5 inch. For you, if you are getting say 8 inch, so then you will have to take the point here, not here. Okay, so you will have to make it inside. If it is more, suppose somebody's waist is bigger, so then you will have to, suppose it is coming to 9 inches or it is coming to 8.75 inch, so then it will be here. Okay, you will have to join 9 with this new point. So you have to keep that in mind. Okay, now let's make the dart, the waist dart for the front side. So for that what we will do, simply we have this 6/1, right? You just fold the measuring tape because we want the center of this. Okay, now this is the point. Let this point be 14, yeah, because this is point 12 and this is point 13. So this is point 14. Now you have to square out from 14 as well. So I am squaring out from 14. This is point 5. Okay. Now how long will the dart be? You can take a dart of say 4 inches, 4.5 inches or something like that. So I am taking 4.5 inch and making a point here. So let this be point 16. And the dart is 3/4 inch, right? So for that I have always told you start from 1. 3/4 inch is where my dart is ending. Okay, and this line is at the center. It has to be in the center. So 1 2 3 here, 1 2 3 here. Yeah, now you join this with these points, so you get the here dart legs. So I got the waist dart for the front part of the yoke. Now I want the side dart, the French dart, because you know I need to accommodate the bust. So for that, what we need to do for this, I will mark a point here, and that point will be 1/8 of chest is what that point will be from 9. So chest is 36.5, 1/8 of that is 4.5 approximately, 4.56. So I'll take 4.5. So from 9 I will mark a point at 4.5, 4.5 inch. Let this point be point 17. Okay, again join this point 17 with point 16. Fine. This is only to get the reference point. This entire thing will not be the dart. Again, take a dart here of around 3.5 or say 4 inches. Okay, I'm taking around 4 inches. So I took this thing, and this dart, as I had said, was 1 inch dart, right? So 1 inch means half inch this side of the line, half inch on the other side of the line. So I got the points. Now simply I have to join these points to get my dart. That's it. Okay, so my front is ready. It is so simple. The front is ready. Now using this only I will make the back, and then I will trace out the back on this paper, the paper that I have folded, and I will cut these out separately. Okay, before that we will also add the seam allowance. Seam allowance is half inch that we will be adding. I will show it to you. I will use the green pen to make the seam allowance. Let's quickly do the back one. Back one is super simple, very few steps. So from this point 0. Okay, before we go do the back one, remember that in the pattern this part will be net, the sleeve will be net. It has a kind of curve here. So what I am doing is I have used this French curve only, and I am making a curve, right? So this is how it will be. Okay, this will be net. I will cut the net till here. Not I won't keep two pieces. I'll have one piece. I'll keep it till here because this is what I will use for finishing. Right now, this is the front part. Okay, now let's do the back part. So for back part, from 0 you mark a point at 1 inch. You can do it 1.5 inch also. That's perfectly fine. Take the French curve again and shape. Give a shape to the back neck. That's it. This is done. Okay, for the back side. Now we have to do the arm side of the back one. So for that, take half of 7 and 6 and 7. Take half of that. Fold the measuring tape. This is the point, right? So let this point be point 20. Let this point be point 21, and use the French curve to give a shape to the arm side. Here, fine. Now the waist of the back one is, this is where it is ending for the back, because this is for the front, but we need a dart on the back side. Okay, so for dart, what do? We take a point which is 1/12 of chest. Chest is 36.5. 1/12 of that is approximately 3 inches. So from 2 I am marking a point at 1/12. Okay, this is where I will be adding a dart of around half inch. Okay, and the length would be same. Okay, the length of the back dart will be around 3.5 inch long dart. I will be adding on the back, but this I am not making right now. I will make it on this paper. When I transfer the back part on this paper, that is where I will be making. So this is how we do the drafting. It is very simple. Now for back I will be adding a pattern, but I will show it on the back side only. So now let's quickly add the seam allowance and do the rest of the things. So I have cut the pieces. This is the front part. Okay, now this is the paper pattern. Okay, remember that when this paper pattern was cut, this was where the net is supposed to be, right? And it was like this. Okay, so there was no place to add the seam allowance, like how I have added seam allowance in the arm sides, at the waist, at the neck. But here, because it was cut directly, there was no space. So what you can do, you can put this again on another paper or add a small strip of paper here and then add the seam allowance. But what I have done is I have simply placed this pattern on the fabric and I have directly cut it, adding the seam allowance here. The neck also I have cut a little bit more than the seam allowance, because this is net, it will get adjusted when I do the finishing, so I will adjust that during finishing, but I just did that a little bit more to be on the safe side. Okay, and here also, as you see, this is proper as per size, and the side also. Okay, here the seam allowance of ½ inch has been added. Okay, so that I can stitch both of these together. Now exactly same in this format I have cut the lining also. Now generally in boutiques, when the cutting is done, the lining is cut first and then the lining is placed on the main fabric and then the main fabric is cut. Generally that is how it is done. And lining, it is front, so it will be padded, so I have added cut 2 pieces of lining. So this is one lining, this is the other lining, and this is the main fabric, the velvet fabric. Okay, so this is the front. Now let us quickly see the back also. So here you can see in exactly the same way I have cut the back pattern also. Back also there will be net, so this was attached here, so directly on the fabric I have added the seam allowance. This is the pattern. Okay, this is the lining. Back I am adding only one lining because pads are not there obviously on the back side. This is the main fabric, velvet, and this also I have added the seam allowance directly on the fabric. So this will be stitched with this. Okay, so this is the back cutting. Now let us quickly see the sleeve. I have cut the sleeves also. So since this is puff sleeve, this is the pattern. I have already showed this pattern in another western top, western shirt video. I'll leave the link in the description box below. So here this is the center notch and this is the front notch, and I have cut 2 pieces of sleeves here. As you can see, I had folded the fabric with wrong side in, so that there is no confusion when I attach the sleeves with the main body. So the notches have been transferred, center notch and the front notch. So the sleeve is also ready. Now with the sleeve, since I will be adding cuff, okay, I have cut 4 pieces of this velvet. It will be 7 inches. Okay, so this is 7 inch. That is the length of the cuff, the circumference of the cuff. So I have cut this also. So from this I will get 2 cuffs. So the velvet will be there on the right side also, and velvet will be there on the inside part also. Okay, both the sides, and I will get 2 cuffs from this, so which will be added on the edge of the sleeve. So pretty much everything is done. The only part that is remaining now is the actual flare, which I am going to cut in an umbrella shape. Now that is there in the course itself, so you can check that in the skirt pattern. The umbrella pattern has been covered in fashion design blueprint course, so you can check from that. Okay, so that is how we do the drafting, and that is how the cutting of this for the top part of the midi was done. And if you liked this video, do give it a like. And in the next video there would be a part 2 of this video. In the next video I will show you the stitching, how do we stitch, and the final reveal of the dress. That is going to happen in the next video. So if you liked the video, do give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and do attend the webinar if you haven't already. And yeah, so that's all about it. I'll see you in part 2. Bye bye.